All right, hey folks, good Wednesday evening to you. Thanks for checking in on Facebook Live this evening. We, of course, are talking about more Thursday snow. Remember, last Thursday we had some snow to take a look at. We had some ice last Friday. That won't be the case this Friday. Instead, we're talking about some colder air moving in. Sometimes you can get these shots of cold air that come in February. They last 3, 4, 5 days, and that won't be the case this time around. It lasts for 2 days, and 2 days only. We're actually going to see a nice warming trend or milder air mass move in going into next week. It's not going to be extreme like upper 40s and 50s, but at least the extreme cold as far as lows below zero will be moving out by the second part of the weekend. Hey, we have some snow to talk about tonight, so let's start off by taking a look at what we have for snowfall amounts here. Now, most areas get 2 to 5 inches of snow. Earlier yesterday, it looked like 3 to 6, dropped it an inch. It looks like most towns get 2 to 5. And it looks as if there will be some spots down to southern parts of New Hampshire. We'll have to watch this area right down in here. Some of this area may try to get into some slightly higher amounts, and I wouldn't be shocked to see some of that get into York County or even Seacoast, New Hampshire. There's some forecast modeling kind of hinting at a little bit of that, but lighter amounts are expected the farther north you go. And we're going to hint on that or talk a little bit more about that coming up in just a minute here. Thanks for everybody checking in on Facebook Live. I can see a few of your comments popping in. Hi from Merrill, Reno here. Hello from Lewiston. Thanks for checking in, folks. We, of course, are looking at the storm headlines here for tomorrow. Not a major storm. It's just the timing. I mean, the timing's not great with these. Snow develops 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So we're looking at the snow arriving just in time or just before the morning commute. So there's probably an inch or two of snow on the ground for the morning commute. The first round of snow, the bulk of the snow, should come to an end at some point Thursday afternoon, and my thought is probably early to mid-afternoon. And there'll be a lull. It'll just be clouds for a while. And then there's basically what's happening, an Arctic cold front is swinging through, and it looks like there may be a little associated inverted trough. We'll have to see how that plays out, but it looks as if we're going to see that Arctic front kind of touch off some snow showers and squalls as we go through the evening hours tomorrow. So that will be something to watch about 24 hours from now, 6, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Would not be shocked to see quick, heavy bursts of snow that maybe last 15 minutes or so. They might dump a half inch to an inch of snow in a few spots here. And then it turns colder later in the week. We're looking at high temperatures staying likely in the teens and low 20s. And the only real cold night that we have in the forecast is Friday night. And that will yield overnight lows probably about 5 to 15 below for most areas. There'll be spots in the mountains that dip to about 20 degrees below zero, kind of like last Saturday night. Remember last Saturday night? I think Berlin got down to 25 degrees below zero. My house is 10 below. That won't be the case this time around on Saturday night. Instead, it's Friday night this week. I feel bad for the florists because Valentine's Day, the florists are always running around trying to keep the flowers warm, and we always have a cold shot right around Valentine's Day. So it's got to be tough to keep the flowers from freezing. That's the reason I bring that up. Trying to keep the flowers from freezing, and this Valentine's Day will be no exception here. Okay, winter weather advisory goes into effect at midnight tonight and goes all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There are no warnings in effect for our region, and I don't think there will be. We're looking at just plain old quick rounds of snow, and the morning commute will be impacted here. So our area of low pressure is right in here this evening. They're looking at some pretty nasty weather up into the northern plains, moving out of that region right now. Right now through the Midwest, that's where the snow is. This area of low pressure is going to be right in here during the afternoon tomorrow, and that puts us on the cold side of the storm. Sometimes you get a low that tracks west of us. That allows warmer air to invade, but we should be looking at primarily snow out of this one. So here's how it tracks. Let me get my head out of the way so you can see my my little banner that I pop up there. It looks like most towns get 2 to 5 inches of snow. And, it's not a big storm, but the timing is horrible again. We're looking at probably an inch or two of snow on the ground for the morning commute tomorrow. So, I don't know. Superintendents have another tough call. I mean, areas that get 2 inches of snow, it's hard to call school off for a few inches of snow. But, roads are going to be slippery. I feel pretty confident about that. We'll have snow-covered roads for that morning commute. Really bad timing with these sort of situations. So, superintendents, I feel for you. Kids and teachers, well, I'm pulling for you. We'll see what happens here. The back edge of the steady snow moves out during the afternoon, and then the Arctic front swings on through, and colder air invades for Friday and Saturday. Again, it's a 2-day shot of colder air. It arrives on Friday, it moves out late in the day on Saturday. Okay, so let's take a closer inspection of the timing right now. We're looking at some of the snow moving in between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. on Thursday, and this is 2 o'clock in the morning. Here's the leading edge of some of that snow, and it looks like the morning commute. Yeah, you're going to have some snow for the morning commute here, and this is actually 10 a.m. I don't know why I didn't stop it at 7 or 8, but you get the general idea. There's some solid bands of snow in southern Maine at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're looking at 8, 9, 10 o'clock, some solid rounds of snowfall here. And looks like the back edge of the steady stuff moves out during the afternoon. So between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, notice how the steady snowfall is starting to exit off to the east. But notice also what's happening to the north here. There's actually a little front, and that front is right in there. That front is the boundary between some 30s and some modified Arctic air that will be diving off to the south. And that should be arriving, let me get rid of that, there we go, into our area during the evening hours. So I want to keep a very close eye on what happens with this line of showers and squalls. That will be shifting off to the south, and I wouldn't be shocked to see a quick round of snow squalls during the evening hours. That's about 7 p.m., so a little under 24 hours from now. We could be looking at one last round of showers and squalls as the colder air tries to punch in. And it looks as if we're going to see the colder air invade for tomorrow night going into Friday. This is 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's take you through about 7 a.m. on Friday. Temps will be in the teens. Winds don't look extreme. They'll be a little gusty here. And the key to the forecast for Friday night is the wind's going to go calm. With calm winds, a dry atmosphere, clear skies, that's a recipe for ideal radiational cooling, and we're going to get that, I think, Friday night. Fresh snowpack as well. There'll be spots about 10 to 20 below, I think. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, most towns are running in the teens for highs, but we'll have some sun. So looks pretty nice out there with at least some sunshine. Okay, another look at how much snow to expect out of this. Most of the areas, southern and central Maine, get 2 to 5 inches of snow. If you're watching yesterday, earlier in the evening, it was we were thinking 3 to 6 inches of snow during the late broadcast. I just whacked it back to about 2 to 5, just because the model trend was a little bit less. It looked like some of the heavier bands might stay just south of us. So we try to get a better idea as we get closer and the storm approaches. So hopefully this is going to work out, but this is what we're expecting out of this. Lighter amounts are expected farther north. Now, I think the biggest thing to watch will be what happens down to southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire. There will be some bands that try to set up somewhere down in this range right here. And I am wondering if some of this gets into seacoast New Hampshire and gets into southern parts of York County as well. There's some forecast modeling that's kind of hinting at some of that actually taking place. So that's probably the biggest question I have in my mind right now. Let me see, is it right over there? All right, so I want to show you some of the forecast modeling. A lot of folks say, I want to see some of the models. How do you like to see models these days? So these are, taking these with a grain of salt, because this is basically a computer trying to spit out snowfall amounts with a 10-to-1 ratio. For every 1 inch of liquid, it would be 10 inches of snow, that kind of thing. And I can't imagine we would get more than a 10-to-1 ratio with air temperatures right around the freezing mark. So this is the 3-kilometer wharf. And this is one of the higher amounts. Notice some spots coming in around 3-4 inches of snow out of this one right here. This is the Canadian model. Notice there's significantly less the farther north you go. It's, if you can read that, Portland looks like it's about 3.4. Lewis and Auburn's closer to 3 inches there. So you get, that's again the Canadian model, high resolution Canadian model. This is the GFS model. This is the US model, and you can kind of see the heavier bands kind of lingering across York County, heaviest rounds of snow at least. That brings Portland to about 4 inches of snow, up towards Gray, Lewis and Auburn 3 or 4 there. Lighter amounts up in the Augusta area, and really not much at all in the western mountains of Maine. And the all-muddy European model. A lot of folks like to see the European model. And this is the latest run of the European model, which initialized at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can kind of get an idea of why I'm a little concerned about what's happening in southern parts of New Hampshire here. This model has been indicating some solid bands of snow. Southern Vermont, southern parts of New Hampshire, and perhaps southern York County. It's been the winter of York County so far. We've had a lot of snow down in York County. That's where, and you can kind of indicate, this model is indicating about 6 inches, 7 inches of snow in that region. Here's the older run. This run is initialized at 7 o'clock this morning, which looks pretty reasonable. I think a lot of towns in this area get 3 or 4 inches of snow. The newer run is a little bit less farther off to the north. See the newer run, older run, newer run, older run, newer run, older run, newer run. So only real concern will be, can some of this stuff get a little bit farther north? We'll have to see where those bands are. But the trend has been clear here. Far north, it's looking lighter and lighter. Probably not a huge deal. Maybe an inch or two up into the western mountains of Maine, and perhaps up into even the foothills and even central Maine as well. So there you go. Those are just some of the things that go into making some of these forecasts. Okay, so the cold air, remember how we were talking about how after the snow, the cold air comes and it goes? This is Friday afternoon. Cold air comes. Just as quickly as it comes, it goes. By late Saturday, we're starting to see some improvement in that category right there. Time for the 7-day. Let me pop up the full 7-day weather warning for tomorrow. Our weather warning program is just kind of a hey, here's a heads up that we have some snow heading our way. And the most impactful commute would be the morning. The afternoon commute looks a little bit better. But keep an eye out for an evening snow shower or squall. Lexi was kind enough to put up the heart there for Valentine's Day for us, for a Hallmark holiday here. With don't forget your roses, all the husbands out there. You gotta buy all the candies and the roses. I guess you don't have to, but look for some sunshine but cold conditions. And again, I feel for the florists trying to keep the flowers from freezing on a day like Friday, especially during the evening, is going to be difficult. Temps will be in the teens and low 20s. It's -8. That is your Saturday morning temperature. Inland areas will be closer to 15 below. And then the temperatures modify. By Sunday, it looks a lot better. And going into next week, there might be another disturbance on Tuesday. Again, a snow shower Sunday first, and then Tuesday, we're probably going to see a wintry mix over the interior. And it might be a mix and rain at the coastline. We'll have to see how that plays out right here. I have my friend Rit right over my shoulder. Hey, Rit, say hi to the folks on Facebook Live.
Hi, Gay. Welcome to the show.
Rit is fixing my clicker, I think. See this clicker right here? I think it needs a new battery because I consistently screw up trying to draw live on television sometimes. All right. Let's see here. Let's check out some of the folks' questions here. Let's see here. No school. Oh, mine died 7 years ago on the 14th. I'm assuming you're talking about your flowers, Pamela. No school probably. Also, Mark says, yeah, it's a tough call for the superintendents because it's one of those deals where some areas might get 2 inches of snow, but the timing is just horrible. If it comes in at 1 to 4 a.m., probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, snow-covered roads, just right in time to put the buses on the roads. So that's going to be tough. Enough snow talk, Jasmine says. It's February. Heavy wet snow. All right, good question, Ray. Heavy wet snow. It's not going to be extremely sloppy or heavy with rain on top of that or anything like that. Instead, it will be a snowfall that is gently falling. I don't expect much wind, but it will be wet enough that you should be able to make a snowball. And if the kids have the day off from school, send them outside. Have them make a snowman or something, or a snow fort or something like that. Oh, thanks, Rick. Look at this. I have a brand new battery in my clicker right here. This one does not have a new battery. Can I trade you? Thanks, man. All right. What else do we have here? Heavy wet snow. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Ray. That's okay. I don't want flowers. I want motorcycle parts, Pam says. I like that. What did you get for Valentine's Day? Motorcycle parts. That sounds nice.
Go play with fishtails.
You think so, Rhett?
That's a motorcycle group that goes out and does classes.
Oh, all right. I see. I didn't know that. Wet and heavy or light and fluffy? Okay, Pam. Yes, it's not extremely heavy, but it'll be enough to make a snowball with. Hi from Dresden, Lori says. Hello. Snow day predictions? Nah, good question. I don't want to be the superintendent making these calls here, but my guess is due to the timing, there'll be a lot of schools that will just say, no, let's just not even do it here. But, there'll be spots that get 2 inches of snow. I think it's one of those deals where you'll be questioned no matter what decision you make on a day like tomorrow. So, let's see. All right, I think I got them all here. Everybody's saying hello. I appreciate that. And for some reason, I can't see the older comments. All right. Hopefully, I did answer your questions, though. I know I have new batteries. I'm going to go test those out right now. But hope everybody has a great night out there. Enjoy some light snow tomorrow. And try to stay warm later this week. we'll pop in with another Facebook Live tomorrow, and Lexi will be in with more updates in the morning. I'll have, of course, another update on CBS 1311, Fox 23 at 10. Take care. Have a nice night.